Work. I'm happy that you're here, and I'm happy that these beautiful healers have joined us today. We're going to talk a little bit about what is the best method for you. So, we're going to cover different topics today, and maybe you're going to find a methodology that would work really well for you for where you are and what you need in your life. And so, with that, I will let you guys introduce yourself, tell everyone a little bit about you and what you do. And then we have some prepared questions that we'll go over with everyone in time. And if you have any questions and you're watching the live, please go ahead and put in comment, and then I'll uh, pop them for the presenters today for you. So, Marty, please take us away.
I am Marty Bugbee. I'm the owner of Metamorphosis Breathwork near Detroit, Michigan. I also have an internet presence as well. I do sessions online. But like I said, I'm the owner of a breathwork practice. And yeah, I'm anxious to share some of that when we go through the questions.
Marie, go for it.
Hello, beautiful souls, and thank you again, Melanie, for hosting this. It's a beautiful space. My name is Marie. I am a spirit medium. I teach tarot, I teach mediumship, and I support those that want to transform the energy within themselves and shift into better energy, all through spirit guidance.
Beautiful. Aimee, go for it.
Hi, my name is Aimee Schenkel, and I'm a lifestyle mentor, which means there are a couple things under my umbrella. I am a Reiki practitioner whose practice is strictly virtual because when you work with busy professional and entrepreneurial individuals, I take away the excuse that I don't have time. Because self-care is so incredibly important, because what you put in your body, what you put on your skin, what you put between your ears is so vital to who you are. So I work with, like I said, my practice is virtual, and I'm also recently partnered with a molecular absorption company. They have a molecular science company. They have incredible nutrition products that absorb on a cellular level. So wrap everything up in a bow, and you have a holistic approach to health and wellness.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for introducing yourselves. First question today, we'll go in the same order to answer them. So please go ahead and unmute yourself and go for it when it's your turn. What is your magic zone? So that's the one thing that you love that's helping people the most, your magic sauce. What is it for you, and what does it feel like for people that are going through that process with you? And please take your time answering the question.
Well, my magic zone, I started the practice of breathwork after being introduced to it myself at a retreat in Costa Rica. And I got a very strong message that when I returned back home, I was going to open my own practice. I had never heard of it prior to that. When I began, it was all about the mechanics of the breath and the timing and in holding or creating an environment and holding space for people's experience. And then it gradually just started to manifest into a very large energy exchange where very close to what would be considered a Reiki type of experience, where people were just letting go of a lot of negative energy. And like I said, I would hold space for them to do so. So as that developed, I'm developing in that as well. So I think that's pretty much the magic zone that most people report, that very common for them to say it's like nothing I've ever experienced. They're able to let go of emotional blocks and traumas that they've been holding for a long time, sometimes years. They've been trying to work through with therapists and talk therapy and such, and this just seems to be the thing that has helped some out. So that really gives me a tremendous amount of satisfaction to know that in this service I'm really helping people with something that really needs, they really need the help with. So that's kind of it's a gift.
Mm-hmm. That's beautiful.
My magic zone is all about transforming and transmuting energy within the mind, body, and soul of women in particular to shift limiting beliefs, chronic illness, pain, those sorts of things. I am a fibro queen. I have navigated fibro for a few years now, and with the use of what I do in terms of leading through spirit guidance, I have healed up to 90% of my fibro pain through tapping into my own intuition. So that for me is the magic piece, is when I am able to pass this gift to other women and some men, and they then get to lead from their intuition. Everything becomes about how they desire to do it and what feels good for them on a very high spiritual level, which is just beautiful.
That's beautiful. Thank you.
Oh, sorry. I give people a safe place to just release whatever's on their mind. I'm very intuitive. I ask the questions that they can't seem to just articulate and help them bring it to the surface. I give them a non-judgmental place, which is so vitally important. And the way I run my Reiki sessions, and this is important because once you brought up your vulnerabilities, I then use energy work to help clear them out and bring up more stuff. And I think what makes me different than other Reiki practitioners is I take the woo out of the woo-woo. I really can take the esoteric and bring it down to a concrete concept that people who are new to energy work or spirituality can truly wrap their brain around. Because if you're new to it, trying to understand the esoteric, energetic, spiritual world is a little bit difficult. So if somebody can explain it to them in a way that they can actually understand, I think that's probably my zone of magic, is helping the average non-spiritual person get on a path. I'm like a catalyst. Get on that path to the spirituality, to energy work, to self-care, self-love.
Oh, that's beautiful. I love that. Very nice. Excellent. Thank you so much, all of you. Our next question is, can you share a quick tip, a tool or practice that someone that's watching right now could try it to feel better, shift their energy? So this is kind of the hands-on practice, if you'd like to call it that, if you're comfortable with it, of course. And take your time in doing that so that we can create those little aha moments for people that are watching.
Absolutely. To start out with, there is a difference between breathing and respiration. And when you think of breath work, you think of that really aggressive session where, if you've ever done it, maybe in a yoga class or maybe a breath work session, it's a technique of breathing, okay, to accomplish a certain outcome. But what's more important to that, an everyday tip, is respiration, to understand effective breathing. And many of us walk around subconsciously with a dysfunctional breathing pattern. And there's different reasons that we do that through some learned behavior from the past. Most recently, the wearing of masks caused people to establish a dysfunctional circular breathing pattern where it's in, out, because they feel that subconsciously there was a starvation of oxygen, so they're just waiting to take another breath. Or you go to a yoga class where they say it's really healthy to breathe like this. So people will walk around like that all the time. And what that creates is a constant state of what's called hypocapnia, low CO2 levels in your blood. And you can be like that for decades and wonder why you have brain fog and fatigue and anxiety and all these things, because it messes with the pH levels in your bloodstream and all your organs. So many ailments that people are diagnosed with really come down to a dysfunctional breathing pattern. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to just go through a real quick exercise that anybody can do to correct your breathing pattern. And what's important is we all breathe in, we all breathe out. But the most important part is to allow your body to just settle in without breathing in or breathing out. After you exhale, just let it all just settle and let that CO2 level come up. And then let your body breathe in when it needs to, not when you behaviorally told it to. And this is kind of hard. So I'll put you through a real quick exercise here. And you can do this 5 minutes in the morning, 5 in the evening, while you're driving, while you're standing in line, waiting to get your license plate tabs renewed or whatever. So let's begin by just settling in. Find a comfortable position, seated. And as for those in online land, you could be laying down. Let your body feel supported. No need to hold yourself up. Allow gravity to just take over and relax. Let your belly soften, shoulders relax, close your eyes. And just notice here, right now, your breath. Try to step outside of your body. Don't push the inhales, don't push the exhales. When you exhale, just let it settle without breathing in. Let your body tell you when to inhale. Simply notice how it moves from outside of yourself. Observe your breath. Where do you feel it the most? Maybe your chest, your belly, your nose, your throat. There's no right or wrong way, just awareness. Let yourself tune into the rhythm that's already there. Just observe. Now begin to notice the end of your exhale, that moment when the breath finishes and your body waits. Not holding, not forcing, just a natural pause like the body's own comma. Let yourself rest in that space. No need to rush the next breath, just let it come when your body's ready. With each exhale, just let go a little more. Let the air fall out on its own. Let go of tension in your face, your jaw, your neck. Let go of thoughts about doing it right. There's no technique here. Just being. Exhale. Pause. Feel your body take over, breath by breath. You might notice some breaths are longer, some shorter, some pauses feel spacious, some tight. That's okay. You don't need to fix anything. You're just observing. This is about trust. Trusting your body knows what to do. If it helps, imagine your breath like waves. The tide rolls in as you inhale. The tide flows out as you exhale. Picture a triangle. Breathe in on the up, out on the down, and hold on the bottom on the pause. And as you pause into the stillness of the waves, stay with the rhythm for a few more breaths. Let yourself rest in that gentle flow. Inhale, exhale, pause. Just observing, allowing that pause. And when you're ready, Bring your awareness back to your surroundings. Notice the sounds around you. Wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. Take a gentle sigh of relief. Take one more soft, easy breath. Open your eyes, you're ready. And just be. This space is always available to you. Place to return to where the breath leads and you follow. No effort, just awareness. And that's called reflexive breathing. And that's meant to teach you to breathe the way your body's meant to and break those dysfunctional breathing patterns. And I have a transformative story, but I'll wait till we're ready for that.
Thank you for that. That was beautiful. Really enjoyed that. So my quick tip coming in is a piece of breath work, but this is to focus on calling in clairsentience, clairaudience, claircognizance. I love to merge the scientific with the spiritual. I love to be a rebel that way. So it's all to do with the breath. It's all to do with the senses, but it's also to do with the heart brain as well. So it's getting out of your head and getting into your heart, because we all have magic within. We have this beautiful piece of divinity that we can lead ourselves with consistently on the right path if we just trust. And it is about building trust. So I'm going to ask you 3 questions when we're in the breath work. And what I want you to do is to just listen, feel, and see. And anything that comes in, whether you see something, whether you hear something, or whether you feel something, that is all you've got to do, is just remember what you hear, the first thing. Don't try and take it away with your mind. Don't let your mind take over. Just feel it in the heart space, and just know that exactly what you hear, feel, or see is exactly what you're meant to in that moment. So just to, again, go into a relaxed position. I like to do this with my feet flat on the ground if I can, stay grounded. So that connects us to the earth energy. And then just place your hands open on your thighs, so that you are open and ready to receive messages from spirit. I call it spirit, other people call it universe, source, energy, God, whatever it is that resonates for you. But when I say spirit, I'm talking about spirit realm, I'm talking about divinity, I'm talking about universal energies, that sort of thing. Okay, so just placing your hand on your heart space. And we're going to take a breath. When we take the breaths in, we're going to take a breath in for 3, and we're going to breathe out for 6. This short in and longer out breath activates the parasympathetic nervous system, which then allows us to tap into the heart brain. Okay, so just relax in this space, hands open. If you want to place one on your heart space, you can, on your heart center, and just open, ready to receive, and relax. Just breathing normally, breathing naturally, just having a moment in this space right here. And just start by taking a breath in through the nose and releasing it. We'll go into the 3-6 in just a second, but relax on every single out breath. So breathing in and breathing out. Every single out breath, drop your shoulders, drop into your position and relax. Relax. And breathe in and breathing out. We're going to go into the 3. Breathing in for 1, 2, 3, and out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Same again. Breathing in for 3, 2, 1. Breathing out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathing in. 2, 3, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The first question coming in is, what do I need to know today? What do I need to know today? Take a breath in and breathe out. Whatever comes in, hold on to it. Second question, what is my guidance today? What is my guidance today? And breathing in and breathing out. Third question. Spirit are placing a gift in your open hand. What is that gift? Feel the gift. Know what it is. Just be in the energy of the gift you have just received. And just take one more breath in. And hold on to the trust, trusting everything that you heard, that you saw, or that you felt. Everything that came in was meant to be. And breathing out. And when you're ready, come back to a neutral breath. Open your eyes, wiggle your fingers, feel your feet. And at this point, I would invite to journal, because always journaling, something more might just come through. So whatever came in, you're very welcome to share it in the comments, wherever, or you can keep that for yourself. But knowing that whatever came in, whatever the gift, there is some significance around what you heard, what you saw, what you felt. So in terms of the questions, what do you need to know today? That's exactly what you needed to know. Spirit, sometimes they come in with images, they come in with one words, they come in very cryptically. But I would also offer as well, to awaken even further, is to start by keeping a dream journal, because this is one of the ways that spirit come in when our subconscious is more relaxed.
I love that. That was great. So what I'm going to suggest is you don't have to close your eyes and breathe, although we should all be breathing, not necessarily closing our eyes. I'm a big believer in gratitude, because you don't know what can happen. Things happen, and honestly, things can always be worse. And even when tragedy starts, I mean, there are people across this world who are just in poverty, they don't have their health, and yet oftentimes they're very spiritual. And I think what they have is gratitude. What I do every single day is I write 3 things in a gratitude journal. So let's talk about the woo and the non-woo, okay? So gratitude makes you feel good. And, and I say 3 things that I'm grateful for and why. And if this is super quick, you can, something can kick. Prime example, somebody can cut you off in traffic. You know what? You didn't get into an accident and you can continue on your way, right? So look at other sides. I'm not saying that you have to be all, Pollyanna and like things are always wonderful, but there's so many gradients to life. So for me, the thing that you can do right away is have gratitude and a little bit of science. Gratitude, it gives your brain a hit of the feel-good hormones like serotonin and dopamine. So when someone gives you a gift, you're grateful for it. When you give a gift, you're grateful for it. So just take that gratitude with you everywhere you go. Because sometimes, pardon my French, the shit will hit the fan. And you know what? Maybe you're lucky it didn't hit you in the face. I know that's a terrible picture, but It just came out of my mouth. So be grateful for what you have, because somebody always has it worse.
Absolutely. Yes. Gratitude will help you set a reality too that's different than the one that you're in at the moment, right?
Yep.
So really attracting what you're wanting
Right.
to get more of. So that's
Yeah.
beautiful. Thank you so much.
Yes. You attract what you focus on.
Thank you, everyone. That was really, really beautiful. Okay, our next question is, what is the one transformation story, big or small, that reminds you why you do this work? So these are the times you get to share what your student experience has been like through this process.
I have, in the last 10 months since I started as a practitioner, helped about 200 people. And one, well, they all stand out. The breakthroughs are tremendous, just amazing, more than I had ever anticipated. One that really relates to the reflexive breathing we were just doing was a woman who had suffered from some conditions where she had been diagnosed and told, "This is the way you're always going to be. I'm sorry. That's just the way it is. Take these pills, go to this therapy, and you're not going to be able to control it." And one of the components was anxiety and anxiety attacks. And we worked with just one session to do the what's called ether breath. That's the extended exhales, like we had done with Marie's session. And then we went into the reflexive breathing, where she learned that she had control over her sympathetic nervous system and parasympathetic. She had the ability to downregulate the sympathetic without pills, without all those other things. So in doing that, I mean, that builds her confidence, her self-esteem. She's not broken, you know. And we did the triangular reflexive breathing. And we were in the midst of a session. She had downregulated everything. And I saw, because I do it on Zoom, this particular session, I saw her messing with her pocket. I didn't know what was going on. So at the end of it, she said, yeah, we were midway through the session, and my phone started to vibrate. I forgot to turn it off. And I went right into that self-critical, you dummy, you forgot to turn your phone off. And she caught herself going into the circular breathing. You know, she went into that anxiety mode, and she was able to recognize it, correct it, and go back into triangular breath and bring herself back down. And up to that point, she had been led to believe that you're going to have to live with this the rest of your life. That's too bad. It was just like one of these aha, beautiful moments. And yeah, it was tremendous. And, you know, if you see somebody that's, you know, to highlight that circular breathing, when I will interview somebody, say, so what's going on in your life? I can see them tell me their story. And they'll start going in a circular breathing pattern. And think of somebody having an anxiety attack. What are they doing? They can't get enough oxygen. They can't get enough air. It's because they don't have a level of CO2 in their blood anymore. And they're just trying to push, and it's just not going in. So I think that was most impactful, showed me that, I mean, this stuff really works. And it was very satisfying and gratifying to see that the client could, regulate their own anxiety and whatever else they had going on.
Beautiful. Probably my biggest transformation story it starts with me being somebody, again, very similar to what Marty's just spoke about being labeled with this illness, fibromyalgia, not really knowing too much about it, the anxiety, the depression, the widespread pain, the migraines, all of the other symptoms that come with this. And I wasn't getting any answers. I wasn't getting any solutions in terms of long term. It was literally, here's your medication. This is what you've got to put up with for the rest of your life. And something inside me was like, I'm not giving in on this. So once I had started, so about 3-4 years ago, I started tapping into my spirit side. And I went into this whole piece of mediumship, which just still now baffles me as to where this comes from. I still don't get it fully, but I get it enough to understand it. And this piece for me doing the work that I do in terms of taking the guidance, so being guided by my spirit team, but taking the guidance, taking action, like absolutely taking action on the guidance, not just hearing it, but taking action on it. That's the crucial piece. And because I've taken action on this, so for example, my guides have come in, they've said, walk more. My brain has been telling me, don't walk more because that's where the pain is. That's where the pain is. So I've had to sort of take away a lot of the conditioning pieces that I've been told about my illness to reframe it. And now last year I was walking with crutches. I had crutches for 2 years. I was bedbound for a lot of the days. I was on medication. Now I walk without crutches. I'm doing over 10,000 steps without pain. I'm no longer on medication. I am very, very rarely in my bed now, which is just stunning. But then doing this for other women, I've got a lot of women in my world that come in for some reason. It's magnetic energy, right? So I magnetize women with fibro, which is beautiful because then I can lead them through their own guidance system, get them to respond to their inner compass, their divinity, through simple techniques, through tarot, through mediumship. And I get to watch their transformations. But not only that, women are also empowering themselves through this work to create their own businesses. So they learn to do the things that I walk them through, and they are creating wealth for themselves, then for others. So I'm starting to see this beautiful ripple effect in health and in wealth and also in relationships, because taking the guidance in relationships, marriage isn't easy, right? I've been married a long time, and it's testing, but my guides guide me to a much calmer outcome these days, much calmer. And when you can tap into that beautiful divinity, when you get to transform yourself, you get to then pass that down the lines to other beautiful souls who then take that ripple even further.
I love that. That was fantastic. So my transformation, I don't necessarily have one particular story, but I have similarities across my clients. And I primarily do work with women. And after a conversation with me, they bare their soul. And then at the end of our sessions, the decisions that are made, the clarification that somebody might have. I mean, I've heard people say they felt bubbles pop. Um, they've had like they see things, they feel lights, they feel just incredible changes in their body. And that makes me, every time somebody tells me that, I truly want to cry because it means that I'm doing the right sort of work. And I didn't think I'd ever come down this path. I mean, I met a medium years ago who literally grabbed my hand, said, "You're a healer if you thought about doing Reiki." And I blew that off for years and years and years. And then I had a dream, and I woke up and the word on my brain was Reiki. So it's interesting how your intuition will come and tell you things after you ignore them for a while. So it's just helping people know that they have the answers within them and just helping them move things along. So that's really what I love. And when this happens, I just truly want to cry. So those are my transformation stories.
So beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that. That's just pure inspiration. So thank you for sharing those stories. It's really wonderful. Our last question, official question for the round, is if someone is feeling stuck, lost, overwhelmed, what's the one thing you'd love for them to know? So people are watching that are feeling those trapped kind of feelings. What's the one thing you'd like to share with them?
I think to echo a theme that's running through all three of us is that you have the power within you to heal yourself or assist with the healing, much more than you know. Is to find a daily practice, something that resonates with you, that works for you. It could be walking in bare feet in the grass to ground with the earth, or taking your pet for a walk, meditation, mindfulness, breath, whatever. Connecting with your spirit guides. Find that and do it on a daily basis as a grounding practice, and be consistent with it, and do it with purpose. When you have a purpose, then you have a passion for it. And so have a purpose and do it purposefully with intention. And you'll find that it may lead to other practices and such. I started this path out with just, oh, that mindfulness stuff looks pretty cool. I think I'll try that. And before I know it, I just was in London studying. I became a adept initiate in hermetics, So it's just, it's just amazing. Just jump into the stream of consciousness, lift your feet, let it take you where it's going to take you, and do it with discernment.
Absolutely beautiful. And to sort of bounce off the back of that, going into the mindset process, the mindfulness, simple tasks that are free, right? They're all free. The walking, the grounding, the breathing, it's all free. And we get to have that. We get to be in those beautiful pieces. And I always believe it starts with the mindset, because the mind is the piece that is so conditioned from past, and not just our past selves, but past lives as well. We're so conditioned to believe certain things. So when we shift things within our mindset, the energy within our brain, magic happens. So my guidance is to know yourself so deeply, on a mindful level, on a soulful level, on a physical level, and even on the energetic level, like the energetic piece, because it's all energy, right? It's all energy. The more awareness that you have of the self, the more you have the ability to transform. So when you're feeling stuck, when you're feeling not so great, you have that ability to shift. And it's not about being happy-go-lucky all the time. It's not about sunshines and rainbows every single freaking day. It is about balance, because when you feel the emotions, when you know yourself, you can guide yourself through those emotions. But it always starts with thoughts. And my one last piece I'm going to leave here is, remember that your day doesn't start in the morning. It starts with the thoughts you have when you go to bed.
Everything all of you said. And I think what Marie just said about your thoughts, the thoughts you had before you go to bed, I think that is so incredibly vital. And I'm going to just hang my hat on that one also. But just remember, you have the answer. Listen to your intuition. Your body knows the answer before your brain catches up. Listen to your body. Because how many times do we know the answer and we hem and haw and change our answer? And then we look back and say, why did I do that? I knew my first thought was right. Okay. Habits are key. Because when you set up a habit, it gives you a sense of power. And when we don't have power is when things fall apart. So that's why I think habits are super key. And when you have habits, that's where discipline takes over. Because I like to say discipline kicks in when motivation takes a coffee break. Because you can be motivated to do something, but motivation wanes. But if you have a habit and you're disciplined, then this is where the magic happens. So those are my thoughts.
Beautiful, everyone. Oh my goodness, such a wonderful, wonderful hour spent together. Any last thoughts or any closing remarks? We're going to put all your links in the comments. I'm going to invite everyone that's watching to reach out to you and make a new friend and learn a new modality you all are offering. so many beautiful ways to heal and to grow and to continue to improve for those that are already doing well. And so I'm going to invite them to do that. But any last thoughts or any closing remarks?
Well, I'd say find your joy. Happiness is cool, but it's fleeting. Find your joy in whatever it is you're doing. It could be small, it could be big, but find that thing that allows you balance in mind, body, and soul in equal proportions, and pursue that.
All right, I'll go. I wasn't sure if Marie was going to say anything. Remember, you are the healer. You have it in you. Marie's the perfect example. So it's, we surround ourselves with healers. People come to me to be, I'm not the healer you are. I'm strictly the conduit. So everybody has it in themselves to heal.
Absolutely. And I think that mindset piece, again, just to reiterate that, it's so profound that the brain alone can do so much for you, but instead we tend to allow it to take over. And this beautiful path that I can walk now, literally can walk, is unbelievable. Even my husband is in awe of the magic that has been worked just through taking guidance. And sometimes the guidance isn't always pretty, but it's meant to be. And it's about walking through those difficult pieces to get through to the other side where the light shines so brightly.
So beautiful, everyone, when you were asking us to go through the receiving a gift process, I received time. And so I am giving myself so much time and being so generous with myself. But I want to thank you for being so generous with your time today and being here and sharing your beautiful, beautiful souls and practices. I'm so grateful for all of you. And so, yes, everyone that's watching, please reach out and connect with these beautiful people, and you're just going to get so much out of that. And so, thank you all so much. Thank you for being
Thank
here.
you.
Thank you, everyone, for watching, and we'll see you all very soon.